Okay. So since I have only have 5 minutes to present my presentation, so I just only to present briefly my research presentation. Okay. By the way, good evening to everyone. So I'm Abdurasa T. Tomi from the Philippine Coast Guard. Of course, currently a candidate for Doctorate of Public Administration at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. So for this time, I'm going to present my research that entitled the Philippine Coast Guard Training Program, a prospect of an institutionalized human resource management agenda. So the Philippine Coast Guard is one of the uniform armed service of the Philippines, no, which attached to the Department of Transportation. So which main goals is to enforce the maritime law enforcement, including from national and international laws of the country. So then on the other hand, the Philippine Coast Guard also mandated perform other just like maritime law enforcement, marine environment and protection, search and rescue, and other mandated rules and implementation in terms of the maritime territory. So further that, the Philippine Coast Guard not only focus on the implementation of maritime security, but also put into significance to enhance the capability and skills of its personnel, no, particularly the policemen, and through enhancing the skills, knowledge, capabilities, what the Coast Guard must possess, no, as an law enforcement of the country. So with that, the Coast Guard also given opportunity for to each and everyone through giving the training opportunity in the example training program, for sending its personnel to the other countries for facilitating or joining any orientation training courses and other enhancing its capability. So through this, my research, way back to 2018, the Coast Guard has been accredited in various sub-training institution in the organization, which resulted accordingly that because of different institutions that we have, it's come up based on the according to the respondent, there was resulted that unsatisfied of the implementation of the training program of the organization. However, through this research, I've been gathered various information what the possible to do as a researcher in order to enhance the training program of the organization. So for this research, the researcher have been used that mixed method, which is the quantitative and qualitative research approach. And of course, in terms of source of the respondent, as shown, is coming from the different institution of the Philippine Coast Guard. So in terms of data or the statistical tools that I've been using the percentage and frequency and solvent formula analysis of analysis of variance and of course the t-test. So for the research finding of this research, in terms of performance of the human research development of the Philippine Coast Guard, as shown, I've been gathered a granted made of 3.39 weighted men, which interpreted as strongly agree according based on the interpretation, which, and of course, in terms of emergency response protocol of these studies, which have been gathered weighted men of 3.42 as interpreted as strongly agree. So in terms of maritime law enforcement awareness and maritime environmental protection, has been with weighted men of 3.41 as interpreted as strongly agree. So in terms of communication, we have 3.36, of course, and crisis management adaptability 3.35 as interpreted as strongly agree. On the other hand, this finding this highlight the performance of the human resource management of human resource development of the Philippine Coast Guard. Again, strongly agree remarks with all variable, with the emergency response protocol as the highest, followed by the marine law enforcement awareness and maritime environmental protection awareness, communication skills, and crisis management adaptability. So of course, in terms of training program as in delivery of the organization. So as resulted based on my research findings, in terms of I got a 3.24 weighted men which interpreted as agree. So for the training course expertise, weighted men of 3.36, now as interpreted as agree, strongly agree. For training period and training policies, weighted men of 3.34 as interpreted as strongly agree for facilities, training facilities. And of course, in training fund and budget allocation with 2.96 interpreted as agree. On the other hand, for this finding of this training program, which the Philippine Coast Guard strongly agree remark with all variable with training course expertise at the highest, followed by the training period, training facilities, policies, facilities, and training funds and budget for allocation. Okay, these are some of the issues been gathered in terms of it and challenges encountered in the implementation of this program. So as stated by the respondents, I've been gathered accordingly the lack of funds, of course, and one is educational resource and facilities. These are some one of the issues that that have been gathered coming from the statement of my respondents. See, another one, of course, the possible recommendation that may be made out of the studies according to the statement of my respondent is, of course, first is there is increasing the budget of the training program of the institution. Of course, the efficient resources management, which is developing the most efficient training facilities that need in order to take the opportunity to be implemented internationally what must standard for the law enforcement in the organization. Of course, as I conclude this finding, by research, accordingly, the funding of the training facility is very important, which affected the improvement or the skills of enhancement of the personnel because of lack of facilities, or we are lack of funding, which could affect the training supply, which other training materials that need by the student in order for their enhancing their training. But those things are very important that to address in our organization. So through this finding, as a researcher, these are that I've been formulated as recommendation in order to address of the organization. Okay, of course, firstly, first of my recommendation is that the organization is recommended to conceptualize training program and human resource training associated with their gender. For the second, the law or policy maker are recommended to utilize the finding of this study as a reference. Third is institution administrator is recommended to gain a better understanding of the significance of training programs in helping the Coast Guard personnel become proficient, allowing for the development of suitable intervention program to close any skill gaps. So for the fourth is DOT or Department of Transportation, department head are recommended to have department head in the Philippine Coast Guard to engage and introspection and recognize that they are ultimately responsible for the effective execution of training program governance. For the fifth, a public administration student is recommended to uplift training quality and efficacy by examining the Philippine Coast Guard rules and using the training program, therefore providing more details to improve in its implementation. And lastly, for the sixth, it's future researchers and scholars and the field of public administration are recommended to use in this study as a reference to locate a successful case study of the training program for promotion. So with that, that's all my presentation. I would like, before I end my presentation, I would like to thank to Eudosha Research and all of the committee of this event. I would like to take the opportunity to thank to be part of this event and to have an opportunity to present my research. Again, thank you very much. And that's all my presentation, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That's all.